What's up, ResTech? Welcome back to another episode of ResTech Wellevision. Today we have one of our own with us again today, and we're going to talk a little bit about a specific program that all employees have access to, but this particular person actually participated in it and has seen some success participating in it. So who we have today is Brian Hnatkovich. And Brian, welcome. And why don't you, for those of us who may not know you, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your role here at ResTech?
Sure. So I've been with ResTech since 2014, so a little over 6 years now. All of it spent in manufacturing, specifically reference standards manufacturing. Most of the time I was the floor supervisor. Then for about the last 9 months or so, I've been working more on the process improvement end of things. So still in ARM, still in operations, different role.
Very cool. All right. So why we asked Brian to join us today is he has actually participated in the diabetes prevention program through Highmark. That is a program that's offered to plan members here at ResTech, and he's one of those that has taken advantage of it. So he has been kind enough to come on here and share his experience with it. So Brian, how did you first hear about the prevention program?
It was during open enrollment a couple years ago. The Highmark representative was here, and it was just kind of a side remark that they said, "Hey, there's a diabetes prevention program. You apply for it, and if you are accepted into the program, they'll give you some equipment and give you access to some tracking tools and a website." And I said, I thought it was pretty interesting. I know I'm high risk for diabetes. Both my parents have it, and both my grandmothers had it. So that put me, actually, my doctor says very high risk. So anything to help me get through, prevent that was worth it.
Excellent. Well, awesome. That's good that you guys had that touch point. So tell us a little bit about enrolling in the program. I mentioned to you right before this that I actually know very little about this program. So um, what was the enrollment process like? I know you had that conversation with them initially, but I know there are some steps you have to
Right.
take in order to be accepted into the program. So what can you take us through that?
Sure. You go to the website and you apply for the program. They'll ask you a bunch of questions about your health and your family history, and determine if you're at risk for diabetes. And if so, then they'll contact you and put you into a group program. They'll also send you a Fitbit tracker and a digital scale that you can have that connects to their app on your phone or your iPad, and yeah, then you start the program. You get a coach, you get a group, um, and yeah, you start the program.
Cool. All right. So I know you mentioned your family history there. Um, what is it that you were when you heard about this program and decided you were going to try and enroll? What were you? This may be an obvious question, but what were you hoping to get out of the program, I guess, through
Well,
participating?
sure. Well, I was certainly hoping to lower my risk of getting it. Um, I don't like needles. So, and I see my parents and my grandparents when they were alive pricking their fingers and giving themselves insulin shots, and I did not want to have to deal with that. So anything that I could do to help with to help prevent that from happening was a good thing. So yeah, just lowering my risk, uh, learning to take care of myself, specifically to prevent that disease. Um, that's what I was looking forward to getting.
Awesome. Well, I think that's a good goal. So, all right. So, what was it like, I guess, kind of going through the program? So you mentioned there was a group and you got some equipment. So what was the process like kind of going through the program and I guess being in that group and using the equipment and
Sure.
and things like that. Can you tell us a little bit about the actual experience?
Sure. So once you were accepted into the program, like I said, they'll send you a Fitbit and a digital scale and a login for their website. And when you log into the website, it'll ask you for all of your health history and things like that to help with tracking. And then it gave me several options for when do you want to start the program. And you pick which one worked for you, and that got you a coach and a group. The group was probably about maybe 12 or 15 people from all over the country, um, all different stages of life, all different reasons for being there. Some of them are required to be there for from their doctor or their insurance company. Some, like us, were voluntary. Um, but so our group was called the Green Raccoons. I don't know where they got the name from, but that's what they were called. And then my coach was Amy. And it starts out, you have a group meeting online. So you all dial in. It was a Sunday afternoon, early evening for my group, and Amy went through the program with us, what's expected of us, what resources are available to us, and that kind of stuff. And then you start doing the tracking, um, and and they yeah, the tracking on the website. They also give you weekly videos that you have to watch. So, um, and then the videos varied from everything from how to fit exercise into a busy life to how to manage portion sizes, some recipes. Some of the showed you some good recipes, how to um, still enjoy going out with your friends or going out to eat and managing your risk factors and things like that. Um, so as far as tracking, there was a cool app that they had for the iPhone. It was called Retrofit, and on it, you would log your activity for the day. You would log your food intake for the day. And then at whatever point in the day, they recommended that you do your weight at the same time every day. You would get on the scale and connect to the app, and it would uh, send your weight information and your to the app. So it was a tracking mechanism throughout the program. We had two other group meetings, just the you know different phases of the program. Hear from other participants what their experiences were like, and then you got two one-on-one coaching sessions with Amy, and that's basically you were discussing, okay, here's your progress, here's things you could do better, what are you having problems with, what are you struggling with, um, anything I wanted to learn more about, things like that. So um, yeah,
Okay,
it was pretty good.
awesome. You just talked a little bit about your coach, Amy, there. How effective was it to have an actual coach to be able to guide you through the process? And I know
Uh,
the
it,
group's cool, but kind of having that opportunity to have that one-on-one or that,
yeah,
the guiding person.
right. Well, Amy was great. The accountability was the biggest thing for me. She had access to see what I logged to eat, what kind of activity I was doing, and she would let me know if I was straying. Um, Amy was a big more fruits, more vegetables. That was basically, every time. Uh, and she would send me emails and text messages, make sure you're eating your fruit for the day, make sure you're eating fruits and vegetables and things like that. But for me, it was just having somebody that I had to report to uh, because I knew I would get yelled at if I wasn't doing what I was supposed to be doing. So yeah, she was very helpful. And if you had any questions, you can email her or take advantage of the one-on-one coaching sessions. And you can get more one-on-one coaching sessions. You just had to pay for them. Two were included with the program. If you wanted more, you would have to pay for it. So, but yeah, she was great.
Awesome. Yeah, sounds like she was right on top of you there.
Yep.
So that's good.
Yeah.
That's
And
pretty
I would
awesome.
it would be in the back of your mind, right? Do I want
Uh-huh.
this second donut, or do I want to take a day off from walking to get my 10,000 steps? And she would be right on top of it. Hey, you know, an extra donut today is good, but you're gonna have to make up for it the rest of the week, right? So
Okay. You just mentioned the 10,000 steps. I was gonna kind of triggered a question in my head. Like, did you have specific goals that you needed to reach throughout the program, like steps goals, weight goals, anything like that?
there were activity goals that you had to reach. So 3 times a week for 30 minutes, and you can do that walking, running, swimming, whatever you wanted to do. They sent you a Fitbit tracker, just one that you would clip onto your belt. I had already had one ablaze for my that I wore on my wrists. It worked just as well. So it was tracking all the things that a Fitbit tracks and reporting it to the Retrofit app. So
Awesome. That
yeah,
sounds cool. So, lastly, one of the reasons I said we brought you on here was that you had some success with the program. Would you be willing to share kind of your success that you had as far
sure.
as, you don't have to get too specific, I guess, but has
Well,
your diabetes risk decreased or anything
uh,
like that?
it has. My doctor was very happy. I lost almost 30 pounds over the course of the program. So lowering my body weight is a big factor in getting the lowering the risk factors for diabetes. Um, so that was my big success, completing the program and watching all the videos and learning all the different things is also important. And I'm still using them. Especially the ones are portion size when you're trying to think of that, balanced meals, um, how to eat with your family and your friends and still maintain control over um, what you're eating and that kind of stuff. So my family's a hunky, so we like to eat a lot of pierogi and kielbasi and that kind of stuff, and you can still do that. And uh, just knowing what it is you're doing today and making up for it over the next couple of days, right? So maybe the next day you have to skip the second donut or something like that. So
Well, that's good. And I think that's an important point too. Obviously you go through the course of this program, but I'm sure it has a lot to do with the success you saw, but being able to take what you learned
mhm,
in the processes and continue that, because that's
right,
that's really the important part. So,
right. Yeah,
um,
I gained some weight back over the course of the pandemic and having to be shut in. I think everybody did. But then I started to apply the lessons learned again, and I lost it. So I'm in pretty good shape right now. My doctor's still happy. Um,
it's good. Your doctor's happy. Where
yep,
everyone's
yep.
happy, right?
Mm,
Awesome. Well, that sounds great, Brian. Thanks a lot. So
sure.
before we wrap up, I just have one more question that I like to ask everybody. But do you have a message or a comment or anything you'd like to say to ResTech before I let you go here regarding the program or other?
Sure. For me, it was well worth it. Like I said, I had high risk factors, and I learned what those were and how I can control them moving forward. Probably the biggest thing I learned is, you, and I'm talking to a trainer, so he might not like this, is that it's not uh, um, it's okay to um, go out to eat once in a while, or it's okay to eat the extra donut. It's just knowing what the total package looks like. And if I can't walk 3 days a week and I do it 2 days a week, that's fine. You don't have to be hard on yourself to be a strictly adhere to the program um, that you set for yourself. So I think that was important because I had tried things before and I would try to stick right to what they said to do, and then you miss a session or you go out for pizza or something, and then you feel like, oh, I'm done with the program now because I didn't didn't follow the whole way through. But Amy was good at it. She said, okay, I saw you went out for pizza Friday night, and then I saw you went for an extra walk over the weekend, or I saw that you did a better job on Saturday or Sunday with what you chose to eat. So that was eye-opening and relieving for me, that I didn't have to be so strict to myself and miss out on opportunities and things like that with family and friends, to still maintain it, um, or lower my risk factors and things like that. So, uh, and I, you know, learn some new recipes. You learn some new ways to get your activity in. You learn some of the hidden dangers of some of the food. What does high sugar intake mean, and high carb intake, and that kind of stuff. And Amy is still in the back of my head every time I look for a snack, or uh, you know, making sure that I'm controlling my portion sizes, making sure that I'm eating my fruits and vegetables, things like that. So
Very good. Awesome.
it
And
was well
that's,
worth it.
well, that's great. That's awesome. Yeah. And that's a great message too. I think a lot of people get wrapped up into that. Boy, went off track today, might as well give up. So
Hmm.
there's a saying that I've heard a long time ago that I use sometimes, like, it's okay to fall off the wagon, just don't eat the wagon.
Right, right. Get back on.
So, yeah, just get back on. You need to do. It's okay to live a little sometimes,
Yep,
and then you just kind of pick back up where you left off. And I
yep.
think that's important. It's important to, motivation. It's important to adherence. Like you said, you tried a lot of things, and the opposite of that was what you kind of drove you away.
Right,
So I think that's an
right.
awesome message,
Yep.
Brian. Thanks for
And
sharing.
once you start seeing success, it makes you want to get more. So once you start
Yeah.
seeing the weight drop on the graph, and you just want to see how far you can go, and 30 pounds is quite a bit of weight for the course of the program. So
Yeah, that's great. Awesome. All right. Well, Brian, thanks so much for taking the time and sharing about the program with us. Like I said, I really didn't know a whole lot about the program
mhm.
specifically either. So it was great to hear this stuff. Um, awesome to hear about your success. So thanks for taking the time to share with us.
Well,
So.
thank you for having me.
All right, great. So with that, we will wrap up this week for ResTech Wellevision, talking about the diabetes prevention program. Just one note that I do want to make regarding the program. So it is for people in the pre-diabetes
Mhm.
stage. So it's a prevention program. It's not necessarily a treatment program if
Correct.
if you already have diabetes. So
Mhm.
I do know that, and that would be identified in the enrollment process.
Mhm.
Um, but so just a quick note on that. But anyway, thanks again for Brian for taking the time to join us today. As always, I'll ask you guys if you have any feedback or suggestions or requests or anything like that for topics that you want to see on these Wellevision episodes. Please let us know. Any comments or feedback, don't keep that stuff a secret. We like to hear about it, and we like to keep you guys informed, entertained, enlightened, all that good stuff. So that being said, again, thanks to Brian, and we will catch you guys next time for ResTech Wellevision. Later.